Now let's create our PDF template. We want the Illustrator, File, New. We're going to have an artboard. We're going to start off with 4, and that would depend on how big your pattern is. So we're going to name this My PDF 2 by 2. And we're going to have 4 artboards. That's 2 rows by 2 columns. So here's my column, how many columns I want, and then with 2 rows. On our spacing, we want to put it at -1 inch. 1 inch, but we want to keep the letter at 8.5 by 11 inches, portrait. Okay, then we're going to click OK, and this is your first screen. You have your 4 artboards. That's 4 pages, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we're going to name this Cut Line. Click OK. We're going to put 4 rectangle boxes, 7.5 by 10 inches. Click OK, and we want to center it in our first artboard. So we're going to click on horizontal alignment and vertical alignment. And now we have a rectangle box right in the middle. I want to change its color to blue, but you can make it any color that you like. We're going to put strokes on it so it looks like a dashed line that people can cut. That's my cutting line. Now we're going to go to artboard 2. So we're going to go ahead and click on artboard 2. And we are going to do the same thing, rectangle box, 7.5 by 10, click OK. We're going to center it horizontal and vertical. Let's do the same thing on artboard 3. OK. Center horizontal, center vertical. Artboard 4. By clicking on these artboard, you can tell that that's the active artboard. Or you can also look here on the bottom left, and it tells you what the active artboard is. We want it to be on 4. So let's go ahead and click it. And now you can see that it moved to artboard 4 here on the bottom left, right here. And this is your rectangle box. We want to center it, center it. Now this is your cutting line. So the edge of this is all going to be wasted. And the reason why we use 1 inch is this actually overlapped by 1/2 inch. We're going to lock this layer. We're going to create a new layer, and we're going to name this Watermark. And this is optional. You don't have to do this watermark. I'm going to create a big, huge box that covers all 4 artboards. And let's go ahead and do our fill. And I have it under user-defined watermark. I'm going to fill it with that. I'm going to do the opacity at 50%, so it's a lot lighter, but you can make this however light or dark that you like. Now we're going to lock that layer. Let's go ahead and close the watermark because we won't be using it. Now we're going to create a new layer, and we're going to name this text. Click OK. And we're going to put a text right here. We're going to name it row 1, column 1. We want to center it horizontal. And we want it just above this dotted line. You can go as close or high as you want to, but we want to make sure that it's above where they cut off. So the artboard 1 is going to be cut off at this line right here. which means that you want them to be able to see the row 1, column 1, and that way when you put it together, you know the order that needs to go into. Now we're going to copy, which is Command C, Command V to paste. We're going to move it to our second artboard, and we want to center it. But this is now column 2, so we need to change the text a little bit here. Column 2, and we're going to go ahead and go to the artboard 4, paste it, and just remember we want it above this dotted line. And just to be sure, I like to center it, but this is now row 2. Row 2, column 1, going to paste it. Oops. We need to paste this again, copy, paste, and make sure we change this to row 2, column 2. Column 2. Once we have that done, and let's double check by zooming in, which is Command plus row 1, column 1, row 1, column 2, and let's go down here, row 2, column 1, row 2, column 2. Now we're going to lock this. We're going to create another new layer, and we're going to name this My Pattern. Okay, we aren't going to lock this layer. We're going to keep this one open because this is where you're going to paste, copy and paste your pattern. And that way when you print it, it's all good to go. But we need to first save this as a template. So File, Save as Template. And we're going to put it where? In Templates. Or let's see, my PDF template, the one that we created. Now it will be there. We hit Save. And now this is your template. If we close this and we go File, New from Template, there's just your My PDF template, and there's your template. We're going to open it, and there you go. Now let's open up our pattern that I did. Let's open it up, and I put it on my desktop. My patterns, here's my test pattern, and this is my pattern. So we're going to copy, Command C, go back to your template, which is untitled right now, paste it, and we can shift this around to how you like to fit. And we're going to call this File, Save As, and we're going to rename this. And you can save it anywhere you like. We'll put it in my pattern on the desktop. So make sure you save it. Once you save this, it still is not a PDF because you saved it as an Illustrator. So we're going to go File, Save As, Adobe PDF. Going to save. In this Preserve Illustrator, and we want to uncheck that because it will make your file a lot smaller. We're going to save PDF. Click OK. And now it is saved. And you're good to go.